The Golden State Warriors, their record was 15-50, and
Damn.
I think the storyline of their season is three words: stop disrespecting Curry.
Mm,
That's it.
that's coming from you.
They
Wow.
they added Kelly Oubre. Jeremy Lin just agreed to sign with them. Let's see if the Chinese Basketball League allows him to sign with the Warriors. You added in Brad Wanamaker, Kent Bazemore, and you just lost Kai Bowman and Dragon Bender, who aren't even losses. Like, these guys aren't losses.
Yeah, you be violent.
Your coach is Steve Kerr. In the draft, you drafted Wiseman, Nico Mannion. For me, they have a great starting five: Steph Curry, Wiggins, Oubre, Draymond, Wiseman. Wiseman has a nice stroke. He can shoot from outside. Oubre can shoot. He's an improved shooter. Wiggins is okay, but I think the best thing about them is that there's going to be a lot of off-ball screen actions, a lot of easy buckets. We know how great Steve Kerr's offense is. His designs on offense are second to none. And I think people are forgetting how easily Stephen Curry can score. I mean, he can put up 10 points in a 2-minute span. He averaged 30 points in his MVP season in like 30 minutes. If he plays 36 minutes a game, there's a chance he can average 34 to 35 a game this year. And he can have an MVP type year. Again, he's a two-time MVP, and I think people are ruling them out of the playoffs too quickly. But I think with Stephen Curry healthy all year, they're a lock to make the playoffs in the West.
I just smile and I love watching you talk about Steph Curry because it's just so fun to see you praise my favorite player. It really is so fun. You hit the nail on the coffin though. This guy can score effortlessly and he can score 10, 15 points in literally 2 minutes without breaking a sweat. Yeah, it's effortless. Like he's just that good. And the beauty about it is he can score off ball. He's not a dominant ball handler. He doesn't need the ball in his hand. That's going to be great for this team because it's going to open up opportunities for everybody else. We talk about it all the time. The gravity of Steph Curry is second to none. It's insane how much attention he creates without even having the ball, and it's ridiculous. But this team is good. I like to start a lot of Kelly Oubre. He's a really good young player. He's only 24 years old. I just looked that up yesterday. I was so surprised. He's still really young. Andrew Wiggins, they can unlock something. That's what they're hoping. That's what fans are hoping on in Golden State, that they can unlock something out of Andrew Wiggins. At worst, he'll still be a really good player. Draymond Green, hopefully he can get back even to get some of that defensive player of the year spot back. And then James Wiseman, he's going to be good. I think he's just built for it, his size. He's going to get rebounds. He's going to protect the rim. Offensively, he's going to get dunks. He's going to get putbacks. He's not going to probably put up to 17, 18, but he's just going to get his 13, 14 alone off of his side. That bench is what troubles me. Aside from Eric Pascal and Kevin Looney,
Jeremy
it's going to
Lin.
be if they let him play. We're still trying to see if they let him play. I hope they let him play. Brad Wanamaker, he's not bad, but he's not that good. He's going to offer that consistency and that, that constant slowdown at the point guard spot. But I think Eric Pascal is going to have a big year in terms of he's going to be that guy off the bench. Damian Lee isn't a bad player. He can shoot the three ball. I think he's a good player. They're still waiting on the development of Jordan Poole. But this is a good team, and I feel like if they had Clay, it would have been so much better. But I still think this is a team that can compete, and it's gonna compete for a seed between 5 and 8. It's going to be a really good team. And I think if Steph gets that MVP mode back, this is going to be a dangerous team for anybody who plays them in the first round.
Yeah, I feel similarly to what Riv just said. With Clay, I would have had the Warriors as a lock to make the playoffs in the Western Conference. Without Clay, I'm a little bit more skeptical just because I think a lot of other guys are going to have to step up to heights that they haven't done so in their career. And that includes, first and foremost, James Wiseman coming in and starting from day one. Can he be that dude? And really, he's going to have to be a big option for this offense. We haven't seen Steph without Clay pretty much his entire career. So it'll be, I trust Steph. This is not an indictment on Steph. I think Steph is going to be that dude and return to MVP caliber play. But then like a guy like Wiggins has got to step up in a winning situation. I like Oubre a lot, so I think he'll step up. And Draymond has got to be better than he was last year, which I get it. He won't be playing the same role as last year, but he looked terrible last year. So he needs to be better, especially with, like Riv mentioned, the lack of depth. That starting five really needs to be good. And so I definitely think there's a good chance. There's a better chance of it being good than not being good, but there are some question marks that concern me. If Steph Curry gets back to that MVP level, like Joel hit on, and can average, upwards of 30 points a game, which is more than a possibility. It's almost likely with the lineup that's sitting around him, they can be that dangerous team and can beat almost anybody in the West, excluding maybe the Lakers or even a team like the Clippers. But, right now I have them as a playoff team. I'm not going to say a playoff lock just because there's a lot of question marks, but I feel good about them making the playoffs.
I mean, in my opinion, I think part of the reason why Draymond looks so bad is because, you got to look at this. Draymond got paid, right? So he's not over here trying to average 20 points per game and prove to the world that he's this great player. What he was trying to do is to make sure the young guys understand the offense and to develop the young guys. And we've seen throughout Draymond's career, he's that sacrificial lamb on those teams. He always does what's best for the team. And last year, what was best for the team is making sure these young guys develop and they get into the flow of things. To me, I don't think that James Wiseman has to do too much on offense. Kelly Oubre damn near averaged 20 points per game last year. Wiggins at his best averaged 23, and at his worst is like a 19-point per game score. Steph is a 30-point per game score. Right there, that's 70 points, about damn near. You don't need Wiseman to come in and get 20 touches a game. Wiseman just needs to come in and set screens, play good defense, and hustle. That's all he has to be asked to do. He's not asked to carry a Knicks franchise. He's just asked to come in and play a role. And I think, especially in the Golden State Warriors, that role they're not going to ask too much out of him. The pressure isn't on him. And when you mentioned the bench, Riv, I like the bench. Kent Bazemore is a pretty good player. Damian Lee's
three bigs though.
Damian Lee's good. Lynn is good. Eric Pascal, Kevon Looney's good. Like, I like their bench. I'm a little bit higher on their bench, and what people are not talking about is that now that Oubre is on the team, they have the ability to go over the cap to sign him long term. So next year you can have a lineup of Curry, Clay, Oubre, Wiggins, Draymond, Wiseman, and plus all these other guys you have. This year, my projection for them is they're going to finish as a 7th seed in the West. I see them as high as 5 and as low as 9. Like, I really don't think they'll miss the playoffs this year. I really see them making it though.
And I want to hit it. I want to talk about that because it's interesting that you said that, because if they do sign Kelly Oubre, which I think they will, I think he'll play into a contract. Think about it like this: they have a possible top 5 pick in the Minnesota's pick. If Minnesota doesn't finish top 3, they get to like a 5-6 with that draft pick. It goes to Golden State. So they have that. They have Wiggins, who they can trade with that big $33 million deal. They have a young 25-year-old Kelly Oubre. They get Steph and Clay back. And Clay I think he'll be great because his game wasn't predicated on athleticism. That's a dangerous team. And Wiseman in year 2, Draymond's still going to be good. That's danger. And Eric Pascal improving. That's a dangerous team upcoming next year. I think this year is just to let people know that they're still around. And I feel like next year is going to be the year where this is the championship year. We're going to try to get back to the championship. But I think this year is definitely a year. Like I'm just confused at how they're going to run a Eric Pascal, Marquise Chris, and Kevin Looney lineup. I feel like that lineup is kind of weird in a sense, but the Warriors are going to make it work because they make everything work. But I feel like that lineup is just troubling me in a sense. I don't know how they're going to run that. Marquise Chris, I do like him, though. I feel like he's a good player. He can do. And Kevin Looney, he's a good player, too. He's a little weird, though. I don't like his shooting mechanics is really bad. But like you said, I think the Warriors are a playoff lock. I think they're going to get in the playoffs just off the simple fact Steph Curry. I think Kelly Oubre, people are sleeping on that defensive tandem with Kelly Oubre and Wiggins. If they both lock in, they're both really good defenders when they lock in, if they can do that. Not to mention with Draymond and then James Wiseman in the back. So I like their style. I think they're going to be really good, and the teams are sleeping on them for real.
So where do you have them finishing?
5-8 in the 5-8 rankings. I think their floor is 8. Their ceiling is 5. I think they can beat any team in the first round outside of the Clippers and the Lakers. I think the Clippers and the Lakers, they can make it interesting, but I think without that second star, I don't think they can beat those two teams, but I think they could beat any other team.
I have them finishing at 9. And that's
Oh,
not because I don't trust them. It's just the way my rankings worked. Like I worked from the top down up to like the fifth seed, and then I worked from the bottom up to like the 12th seed, and then I just had that middle to flesh out, and that's just where they landed. But I could see them getting up to like a fifth seed. I could easily see them getting up to a sixth seed. I can't really see them going lower than, in the worst case, 11. But
me.
I think they're going to be in that middle range. I think we all agree on the range of where they're going to be. I think they can hang with anybody, and it'll be a nightmare for whoever they play in that play. If they end up in the playing games, whoever they play in those playing games, I feel bad for them because that's not a team. I think they're going to be better than what their record shows this year. And on any given night, they can compete with anybody. But I'm starting to rethink it now as I look at it. But like I wouldn't put them over anybody that I have over them right now because I have some question marks. But I do think they can be a playoff team this year. Don't get it twisted. Steph Curry is going to be back at that MVP level, and that's what's going to make them a competitor on any given night.